There is one certification that hiring managers in cybersecurity treat almost like a secret handshake. It is 5 letters that can move your salary from comfortable to 6 figures almost overnight. Those 5 letters are CISSP, the Certified Information Systems Security Professional. In this video, we are going to break down exactly what the CISSP is, who it is for, and whether it is actually worth your time in 2026. Whether you are a network engineer, a security analyst, or an aspiring security manager, you have seen these 5 letters on the jobs you actually want. The CISSP is run by an organization called ISC2, and it has earned a nickname in the industry. People call it the gold standard of security certifications, and that reputation is not just marketing. It is vendor neutral, which means it does not lock you into one company's products like Microsoft or Cisco. Instead, it proves you understand security as a whole discipline, from the boardroom down to the firewall. That is why it shows up as a hard requirement in so many senior job postings, including roles inside the Department of Defense. Now here is the first hard truth, and it is the one that trips up the most people. The CISSP is not an entry-level certification. You cannot study for 2 weeks and walk into a security career with it. To become fully certified, ISC2 requires 5 years of paid, full-time work experience. And that experience has to fall within at least 2 of the 8 knowledge domains, which we will cover in a moment. But there is some good news that softens that requirement. A 4-year college degree knocks 1 full year off that requirement, bringing you down to 4 years. An approved certification like CompTIA Security Plus can also buy you that same 1-year waiver. But what if you do not have the experience yet and you still want to prove your knowledge? ISC2 lets you take the exam anyway. If you pass, you become an associate of ISC2. That gives you up to 6 years to earn the experience and upgrade to the full CISSP title. And if you are brand new to security, please do not start here. ISC2 has an entry-level certification for that, called CC or Certified in Cybersecurity. Think of CC and Security Plus as the on-ramp, and the CISSP as the highway you merge onto years later. So think of the CISSP as a mid to senior career move, not a first step into the field. Let's talk about the heart of the CISSP, the 8 domains. Think of these as the 8 pillars of security knowledge. Domain 1 is security and risk management, and it is the biggest, weighing in at 16% of the exam. This is the governance, the policies, the law, and the risk decisions. It is the brain of the whole certification. Domain 2 is asset security at 10%. This is about classifying and protecting your data wherever it lives. Domain 3 is security architecture and engineering, 13%. This is where cryptography and secure design live. Domain 4 is communication and network security, also 13%. Firewalls, protocols, and how data moves safely. Domain 5 is identity and access management, 13%. It answers a simple question: who gets in and who stays out. Domain 6 is security assessment and testing, 12%. This is the auditing and the penetration testing. Domain 7 is security operations, 13%. This is the day-to-day defending, monitoring, and incident response. And Domain 8 is software development security at 10%, baking security into code from the very first line. If 8 domains sounds overwhelming, here is a simpler way to picture it. Some domains are about deciding, like risk and governance. Some are about building, like architecture and software. And the rest are about defending, like operations and network security. Decide, build, defend. Here is the key insight: the exam is wide, not deep. It tests you across all 8, so you cannot just be a network expert. You have to be a true generalist who understands how every one of these pieces fits together. So what is the exam itself actually like? This is where the CISSP gets genuinely intimidating. The English version uses something called computerized adaptive testing, or CAT for short. Adaptive testing means the exam reacts to you in real time. It is alive. Answer a question correctly and the next one gets harder. Get one wrong and it may ease off. The test serves you somewhere between 100 and 150 questions. And you have 3 hours to prove that you belong. To pass, you need a scaled score of 700 out of 1,000 points. But here is the twist that catches technical people off guard. The CISSP does not want you to answer like a hands-on engineer. It wants you to think like a manager. Let me show you that manager mindset with a quick example. Imagine a question asks what you should do first after discovering a serious vulnerability. The technician in you screams, "Patch it right now," but the CISSP answer is usually to assess the risk and follow the process. Because patching blindly could take down production, the certified professional weighs the impact before taking action. The best answer is almost always the one that reduces risk for the business, not the coolest technical fix. Let's address the question everyone is really asking: how hard is this thing? Let me give you the number that tells the whole story. The first-time pass rate hovers around 50%. Read that again: half of the people who sit for this exam do not pass on their first attempt. And remember, these are not beginners. These are working professionals with years of experience. The difficulty does not come from the questions being impossible, it comes from the sheer breadth. You are holding 8 domains in your head at once, and the adaptive engine keeps probing your weakest spots. This is not a memorization exam. Rote flashcards alone will fail you. But here is the encouraging part: that 50% is not a brick wall, it is a filter. The people who pass are simply the ones who studied with structure, instead of cramming the night before. You have to truly understand the concepts well enough to apply them to situations you have never seen before. Now let's talk money, because the CISSP is an investment with a real price tag. The exam itself costs around $749 to sit. But passing the exam is not a one-time cost. It is a relationship, and relationships have upkeep. Every year, you pay an annual maintenance fee of $135 to keep the certification active. And money is not the only thing you owe. You also owe time and continued learning. CISSP 2 requires 120 continuing education credits over every 3-year cycle. That means attending webinars, writing, or training to prove you are staying current in a field that never sits still. When you stack it all up, the first year can run you a few $1,000s in total. Between the exam, the study materials, and your own time, this is a serious commitment of resources. And one more step people forget: after you pass, an existing CISSP holder must endorse you within 9 months. So after all that effort, all that money, and a 50% pass rate, the big question remains: is the CISSP actually worth it? Let the salary numbers answer that for you. According to CISSP 2, the global average salary for a CISSP holder sits near $120,000. But in North America, that average jumps to roughly $147,000 a year. And data from Glassdoor puts the median total pay for U.S. holders around $164,000. Those are not junior numbers, that is senior decision-maker leadership money. And because demand for security leaders keeps climbing, the CISSP often pays for itself within the first year. And the demand side of this equation is only getting stronger. There is a well-documented global shortage of millions of skilled cybersecurity workers. When companies are desperate for proven security leaders, a credential like the CISSP becomes a powerful bargaining chip. For the right person at the right stage of their career, the return on investment is hard to argue with. Okay, so you have decided you want it. How do you actually beat this exam? First, respect the timeline. Most people need 3 to 6 months of steady, focused study. That usually means carving out 10 to 15 hours of study every single week. Second, do not spread yourself evenly. Lean into the heaviest domains first. Security and risk management, security operations, and asset security carry the most weight on the exam. Third, and this is the secret, practice thinking like a risk manager, not a technician. On every practice question, ask yourself what a security leader would choose to protect the business. A quick word on resources before you go. The official study guide and a solid question bank are the backbone of almost every successful study plan. Practice questions matter more than rereading because they train the exact reasoning the exam is testing. And on exam day, manage your energy. 3 hours of adaptive questions is a mental marathon, so pace yourself. Do that consistently, and the patterns of the exam slowly start to click into place. So let's bring it all together. The CISSP is hard, it is expensive, and it demands years of real experience before you can even claim it. But it remains the single most recognized leadership credential in all of cybersecurity. If you are aiming for senior, architect, or management roles, it is one of the highest leverage moves you can make. If this breakdown helped you, subscribe for more honest deep dives into the certifications that actually move careers. Now go study, your future self and your future paycheck will thank you.